Hello students, welcome to the channel Social Science with Dipankar. Today in this video I am going to tell you the most important questions from economics. In my previous videos I have already told you the most important questions from geography, history, from political science as well. I hope that everyone has gone through the video, and I would also request you, those who are new on the channel, please subscribe the channel and watch the video till the end of it, till the end of the whole video, so that you could see which are the most important questions that are likely to come. तो आज जो इस वीडियो में हम बताने वाले हैं सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस, और ये सोनली मेरे एक्सपीरियंस के आधार पर मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ये नहीं कि कोई वाइल्ड गेसिंग कर रहा हूँ कि ये क्वेश्चंस है. दीज आर द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस. So children, do watch the video till the end and understand which are the questions which are most likely, which are most probable to come in the exam. Right? Your board exams not very far away. Right now you must be preparing for your other subjects also, but in the meanwhile you can go through the video, you can just have some ideas about the important questions. Plus in my previous video also I told you that sometimes we are not able to understand the questions, though the answer that the question is asking for is same. Okay, so please be very careful when we write the answer for any particular question. We have to see and understand the question, and we have to read the question till the end. Sometimes we see a question, just half part of it, or we are not able to understand it and we write the answer. So that should not be the thing one should do, right? तो आज का ये चैप्टर जो आपका फर्स्ट चैप्टर है इकोनॉमिक्स का, डेवलपमेंट से मैंने ये क्वेश्चंस नोट किए हैं. ये क्वेश्चन सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं. सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट मे बी डेवलपमेंट फॉर वन मे नॉट बी डेवलपमेंट फॉर अदर, एक्सप्लेन विद एग्जांपल्स. तो बहुत ही important question है. इसमें आपको ये we have to understand that different people have different developmental goals. Sometimes what you may be wanting as your developmental goal, exactly the opposite is wanted by the other group, by the other people. Like suppose a girl who may want as much freedom as her brother, and she may also want that her brother should share some household work also. Okay, her brother may not like this. Plus we have also seen that the industrialists may be demanding for more and more dams for more electricity generation. On the other hand, the tribal people, they may not want it. They may want some check dams or some smaller things like that can be solving their problems. They may not be going for big projects like dam, because that would lead to their displacement. Right? So what may be the development for one may not be the development for other. So developmental goals can be conflicting. So this question is very important. ये question बहुत important है. इसको अच्छी तरह से समझ के, इसको अच्छी तरह से प्रिपेयर करके, और NCERT से ही प्रिपेयर करके आप इसको तैयार कीजिए और इसके आंसर्स लिखिए. मैं जरूर आपको सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स इन दी एंड आपको प्रोवाइड करूंगा. फिलहाल मैं आपको सारे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस बता रहा हूँ और थोड़ा थोड़ा उसके बारे में जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है वो बता रहा हूँ. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, मनी इन योर पॉकेट कैन नॉट बाय all the goods and services that you may need to live well. Justify the statement. See, this question we have to understand that the quality of life depends on two things. One is the materialistic things and the other one is the non-materialistic things. Both are equally important. We, to make our life better, to make our life worth living, we need to have both materialistic, the comforts of life, like the luxuries that are also required. At the same time, we also need non-materialistic things like friendship, love, trust. These things are also there. Security, right? So this question has to be answered on those points only. This is also a very, very important question. So the next important questions that I've written over here, children, आप देख सकते हैं. सबसे पहला यह लिखा है, ये आपके सेकंड चैप्टर से है, सेक्टर्स ऑफ इंडियन इकोनॉमी से. तो इसमें जो पहला क्वेश्चन मैंने नोट किया है, why is tertiary sector becoming so important in India? It's a very important question, children. Let me tell you the main points on it. See, किसी भी कंट्री में बहुत सारे सर्विसेज ऐसे हैं, जैसे हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज है, हॉस्पिटल्स और स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस, टेलीग्राफ सर्विसेज, कम्युनिकेशन सर्विसेज, इन सभी सर्विसेज की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. तो डेफिनेटली ये सब सर्विसेज बेसिक सर्विसेज कहलाएंगी, राइट? तो डेफिनेटली इन सब सर्विसेज को प्रोवाइड करने के लिए ही टर्शियरी सेक्टर जो है धीरे धीरे और इम्पोर्टेंट होती जा रही है. सेकेंडली हम ये देखेंगे कि इंडस्ट्री और एग्रीकल्चर इसके डेवलपमेंट के साथ साथ जो है आप ये देखोगे किस तरह से इंडस्ट्री और एग्रीकल्चर जैसे जैसे डेवलप होता जा रहा है, द वे वी हैव बीन डूइंग फार्मिंग, द वे आवर इंडस्ट्रियल sector is developing, that also has led to the demand for many new services like storage and the like, right? And transport communication network also have to be improved or revamped. Okay, next one is I would say that as the income level of people rises, right, so they will demand for more services, like they would be going out for tour and travel, they would be eating out and all that, so these services will be increasing. That is why tertiary sector is becoming important in India. Okay, next one is compare the employment conditions prevailing in organized and unorganized sectors. बच्चों में इसमें एक बात आपको क्लियरली बताना चाहूंगा कि बहुत सारे बच्चे जो है ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर का मतलब ये सोचते हैं गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर, और अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर का मतलब है प्राइवेट सेक्टर, तो दोनों का डिफरेंस वो बता देते हैं, लेकिन ये गलत है। ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी आ सकते हैं। ऑर्गेनाइज वो सेक्टर है जहाँ पर जितने भी रूल्स रेगुलेशन है, वो रूल्स और रेगुलेशन सिर्फ दिखाने के लिए नहीं है, वो फॉलो भी किए जाते हैं, राइट। और जितने भी एम्प्लॉयमेंट कंडीशंस है, सब कुछ एवरीथिंग इज रिटन देयर, employment benefits are there, retirement benefits are there, leave facilities are there, whereas on the other hand job security is there in the organized sector. On the other hand, we know that in unorganized sector where things are not properly managed, there are rules and regulations but they are not followed, plus job security is not there, pay is also very low, plus the employees, they are not getting good, as I said that they not only just the low pay but also they are not getting other benefits like retirement benefits, or they may not be getting medical leaves, or they may not be getting other leaves also, right? So there can be also a related question to it, like how can we protect the workers from the unorganized sectors, what can the government do for that, right? So that can be a related question to it. So remember these two questions, and two more questions I'll be writing from the same chapter, sectors of Indian economy. They'll be very important. Please go through them and prepare for them. So children, the next important questions that I've written here from the same chapter, sectors of Indian economy. The question is, give a few examples of public sector activities and explain why the government has taken them up. Next question is also equally, you might find that they are almost similar, but there is a bit difference. Explain how public sector contributes to the economic development of a country. दोनों क्वेश्चन को एक साथ लेके मैं समझा रहा हूँ। इसमें मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि जो पब्लिक सेक्टर है वो क्यों, कौन कौन से ऐसे एक्टिविटीज करती है। देखिए, पब्लिक सेक्टर के पास बड़ा नेटवर्क है और सर्विस एरिया जो है बड़ा होने की वजह से जो है आप ये देखो कि सर्विसेज वो चीपली भी प्रोवाइड कर सकती है, और compared to a private sector company. Private sector company may ask for more money, like we've seen in our previous class also, in class 9th we remember the Bolivia's water war. I think it was in this chapter also, in political, in this book only, Bolivia's water war was there, when the water supply responsibility was being given to the private companies over there. So as a result of which, what happened, the cost of water rose up, poor people over there, they were not able to afford it. Same way, we can give example of other sectors also, wherein government needs to take them up, because government has a larger network, government can raise funds, collect funds, and also make sure that the services are made available even in the remotest areas. Whereas a private company or a private organization may be interested in profit making only, and they may be, though they may also be forced to do certain social work or certain environment related works also. It might be made mandatory by the government only. Government would force them to do these kind of works, right? But still I would say that a private company would prefer to locate themselves in some urban or semi-urban areas to the least, but a government organization or government institution can be located even in the far remotest areas to provide services. Okay, next is explain how public sector contributes to the economic development of the country. We have to say that there are many services, like we talk about the education, we talk about the health services, right? Being a welfare state, our country, the government needs to spend on these areas, right? And government also has to take care of those regions which are backward, poor. So government needs to make policies or plans to increase the spending in these areas. Okay, so these are the two important questions. दोनों important questions है, same chapter आपका सेक्टर्स ऑफ द इंडियन इकोनॉमी से। दोनों को अच्छी तरह से तैयार कर लीजिए। इनको जो है आप आंसर भी, जैसे मैं बार बार बता रहा हूँ, एनसीईआरटी बुक से ही आप इसको तैयार कीजिए और जो एग्जाम्पल दिए हुए हैं उसको आप जरूर लिखिए। इसमें मैं सिर्फ आपको मेन पॉइंट्स बताया और इसमें आपको बिल्कुल भी किसी तरह का डाउट्स होने की जरूरत नहीं है। दिस आर नॉट वाइल्ड गेसेस हियर, दिस आर द शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर मोस्ट लाइकली टू कम इन द एग्जाम। जो अगला जो इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस है हमारे पास, जो मैंने यहाँ लिखा है मनी एंड क्रेडिट के चैप्टर से, राइट। इसमें जो है पहला क्वेश्चन मैंने नोट किया है, चीप एंड अफोर्डेबल क्रेडिट इज क्रूशियल फॉर द कंट्रीज डेवलपमेंट। I think this is one of the most important questions which is most likely to come in the board exams. So children, prepare well yourself for this question's answer. And let me tell you the few points which are very important in this. See, if people are able to have cheap and affordable credit, they can start with many non-farm activities also. They can do various activities which will ultimately lead to countries' development, right? Because many people, those who don't have funds, if they get the funds at a low rate of interest and at easy conditions, because they, of course, their profit margin will increase, plus they'll be able to protect themselves from the clutches of informal sources of credit, right, where they have to pay higher rate of interest, where most of the time they end up paying, you know, lot of interest. Okay, so they in those cases we see that credit plays a very negative role. The credit, whether it would play a positive role or negative role, will depend on the situation, and in case of loss we have any support there or not. So credit, if it is given at a low rate of interest, at easy conditions, at easy terms and conditions, then in that case, of course, that would lead to more economic development, more economic activities, and ultimately it will lead to countries development. Next is poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit. Why is it so? We've seen that in rural areas, or those who are poor households, they are still dependent on the informal sources of credit. Informal sources of credit क्या है? जिसमें जो है क्रेडिट लिया जाता है अपने फ्रेंड्स से, मनी लेंडर्स से, जिसमें रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा पे करना पड़ता है। हालांकि इसमें आसानी से आपको लोन मिल जाता है, आपको सिर्फ फेस वैल्यू के ऊपर भी पैसे दिया जाता है। वेयरएज अगर आप फॉर्मल सोर्सेज से अगर लोन लेते हैं, इसका अगला क्वेश्चन भी वही है, आप इसमें देख सकते हैं व्हाट आर द डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन formal and informal sources of credit. So overall what we have to understand here is the differences in the conditions between the formal sources of credit and informal sources of credit. What if we take, I mean, you know, why poor households are still dependent? Because we see that banks are not available everywhere, plus lot of paperwork has to be done, which poor and illiterate people are not able to furnish the details of. When they are not able to complete all the requirements or all the formalities, in that situation they are forced to take loan from the money lenders, right, where they have to pay a very high rate of interest, and they get into debt trap. Okay, next, see, almost similar question, but on a different, I mean, you know, here we have to discuss the formal और informal sources क्रेडिट के डिफरेंसेस क्या है। जैसे फॉर्मल में तो आप देखेंगे आरबीआई जो है एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है जो इसको मॉनिटर करती है, जबकि इनफॉर्मल में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, राइट, देयर इज नो सुपरविजन, नथिंग एट ऑल। ओके, प्लस रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट भी फॉर्मल में लो है, इनफॉर्मल में ज़्यादा है, और इस तरह के कंडीशंस, इस तरह के डिफरेंसेस जो है वो आप आसानी से आप एनसीईआरटी बुक से कर सकते हैं। इसको आप तैयार जरूर कर लीजिएगा, ये क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगला क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज द बेसिक आइडिया बिहाइंड द एसएचजीज फॉर द पुअर? चिल्ड्रन, आई फील दैट दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस चैप्टर, because this is something which will also check your intelligence at a level, whether you are very aware about it or not, what is going on. I mean, how people are organizing themselves in the rural areas in the form of SHGs, self-help groups, right? These are the building blocks of rural people, and they are not only meant for collecting some or pooling some money, they are also meant for, you know, mobilizing people, organizing people, plus all the issues, not just monetary issues, but various social issues can also be discussed over there. Whenever the village people, they meet together, they don't only save the money, plus we also see that many social issues, as I just now said, बहुत तरह के social issues भी discuss किए जाते हैं। वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की एक इसमें आप बात देख सकते हैं। वुमेन जो है सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट होती है इसमें, अपनी जो भी सेविंग्स करके फिर अपने आप को सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट भी बनाती है। तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, इस क्वेश्चन को जरूर तैयार कर लीजिएगा। मेरा ये दावा है कि ये क्वेश्चन जरूर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स में आ सकता है। प्लीज इन क्वेश्चंस को, वीडियो को अंत तक देखिए, लास्ट तक देखिए, तभी आपको एक आइडिया होगा कि कौन कौन से क्वेश्चंस इंपॉर्टेंट हैं। आप जरूर चेक कीजिएगा कि ये क्वेश्चंस आपने तैयार किए हैं कि नहीं। मुझे आशा है कि आपने तैयार किए होंगे, but when a teacher or when a person like me is telling you, I would tell you that I've got a long experience of teaching social science, right? So I'm not boasting about it though, but I would say that I thought that I should help the class 10 students. They should prepare themselves on these lines. At least it is for the benefit of those who haven't studied throughout the year. They're just studying on the eve of exam only, as well as for those people also who are looking forward to become the toppers. And to become a topper, you need to at least look at these questions and need to prepare yourself very well on these questions. Next important questions that I've written here are from your last chapter, globalization. What were the reasons for putting barriers to foreign trade and foreign investment by the Indian government? Why did it wish to remove the barrier? See children, we have to understand what is a trade barrier. When we put some barrier that doesn't allow products from other countries to enter in our country, right? So we had earlier initially put some barriers, accepting some essential things like fertilizers. On that we had and arms and ammunitions, we had not kept any barrier. But in most of the products cases we had put barriers just to support our Indian industries, because at that time we were having in fan industries, we became independent, just newly only, and our industries were not ready to compete with the global industries, with the other industries from the other countries, right? That is why this is the policy of every country, right, to protect their industries first. So initially, at the initial stage of development, every country would want to protect their industries, and later on, it was after 1992 we had adopted the policy of liberalization. We had tried to remove barriers from most of the we had started removing the barriers, okay, so that we are able to compete with the outside, with the companies which are from the other countries, right? So when we thought that now our industries have become capable enough, हमारा इंडस्ट्री जो है अभी वो कैपेबल हो चुकी है और अभी कंपटीशन के लिए तैयार है। शुरू में हमें अपने यहाँ के इंडस्ट्रीज को बचाने की एक कोशिश थी, ये हर कंट्री की कोशिश होती है, लेकिन बाद में ये जब पाया गया कि अब हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज तैयार है दुनिया के बाकी देशों के जो इंडस्ट्रीज से उससे मुकाबला करने के लिए, तब जो ट्रेड बैरियर्स लगाए गए थे उनको रिमूव कर दिया गया। तो इस तरीके से ये जो क्वेश्चन मैं सोचता हूँ ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है। यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर okay on these points only that I've just spoken. Next question is, how do MNCs help in the process of globalization? Multinational corporations कैसे वो local companies को buy up करती है, उनको orders देती है, फिर contract set up करती है। फिर हम ये भी देखते हैं कि MNCs के पास बहुत सारा फंड रहता है, कई बार इतना फंड रहता है कि कुछ छोटे छोटे देशों की इकोनॉमी से भी बहुत ज़्यादा, उनका टोटल जो बजट है होता है उससे भी ज़्यादा उनके पास फंड्स रहता है, और वो टेक्नोलॉजी भी ट्रांसफ़र करती है। फंड्स के भी हेल्प से लोकल कंपनीज को भी फ़ायदा होता है, और साथ में आप ये देख लीजिए पार्टनरशिप बिल्ड करके भी इस तरीके से जो है ग्लोबलाइजेशन के प्रोसेस को आगे बढ़ाता है। तो हम देख सकते हैं these are the important questions that I've just discussed. In all, there were 12 questions, question number 1 to 12, that I've told you the most important questions. You should prepare well yourself for these questions, and I'm very sure that you are going to score really very well in your social science exam. Okay, to the list that you have to do, that you have to prepare these questions. And lastly, I would say that you got to practice through NCERT again and again. I'm telling you, because there may be in the market a lot of books available, plus you will find a lot of people giving you a lot of suggestions, but here what I'm telling you, these are not wild guesses. These are the ones which I am telling you on the basis of my experience, right? I've been teaching for such a long time. I won't be giving you any any such wild guesses that which are not coming in the exam. I'll be helping you. I'm truly wanting to help you out in your boards, right? So prepare well, and please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.